Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT This Morning.
Now at 5:30, a former Lexington firefighter is facing new charges following a crash into a local bar. We'll have the latest.
Also on WKYT This Morning, the president set to meet with GOP leaders later today, including Kentucky's Mitch McConnell. They'll be discussing strategies for moving forward after the midterm elections. A preview of that ahead.
And just in time for the holidays, new stores are opening up at the Fayette Mall. These stories and breaking news coming up on WKYT This Morning.
Hello there. Good morning. Welcome. It's your Friday, and we're headed for the weekend. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith. Looks like it's going to be a cold one.
That it is. So if you're going to be out, coat certainly, and maybe a tailgating, maybe a blanket or quilt or something might be appropriate as well. Let's check in right now with meteorologist Micah Harris. He's tracking that for us. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. That's a good idea. Yeah, nice little quilt, coat, whatever it may be, especially for these football games later on this evening. We're dry out there right now, and as we look down toward the southeast, it's very weak, but there is a bit of a disturbance down toward the southeast, and you can see bits and pieces, maybe some sprinkles, maybe even some flurries. Other than that, you're not going to see anything on the yards nor the houses or anything like that. Temperatures are in the 30s and 40s. It's on the cool side. By the afternoon, we're there in the 40s, mid-40s, but by kickoff, roughly 40 degrees. Second half, we're sitting there in the 30s, and it's just going to be one of those nights that it's going to feel like football weather. And that takes us off into the weekend, too, and it still stays pretty chilly. And I'll show you how low we go for all the tailgating and all the traveling there for the football games. I'll show you those numbers coming up.
Okay, thank you. And here's the latest from WKYT News.
The president is set to meet today with both Republican and Democratic congressional leaders.
And the president is hoping to find some common ground among those parties. WKYT's Mark Barber is at our live desk this morning with a preview of today's meeting. Hey, Mark, good morning.
Good morning, Bill. Today's meetings could give us the first clues as to whether we could see more gridlock or compromise during the next 2 years. With Republicans set to take over Congress, President Obama is meeting with leaders from both parties at the White House today. Incoming Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell is warning the president not to use executive action to pass immigration reform. Another hot-button issue on the GOP agenda, repealing Obamacare. However, the president has already promised to veto any attempts to repeal health care reform. The White House press secretary says he believes today's discussions between the president and congressional leaders will be the first step toward working through the gridlock.
The president is eager to talk about some of the things that are on his agenda. He's just as eager to hear from Republicans.
Now, the president says one policy that he's hoping to work with Congress on is the approval of military force against ISIS. From the live desk, Mark Barber, WKYT.
Mark, thank you.
Investigators say an elderly man has been found dead after a golden alert was issued for him in Whitley County.
They say that 85-year-old Ori Perkins disappeared after leaving his home early Thursday morning. A golden alert was issued after he never returned home, but the Whitley County Sheriff says Perkins was later found dead at the bottom of an embankment in the Mountain Ash community. The sheriff says it appears that Perkins' truck went off the road and over the embankment. Investigators say they do not suspect any foul play.
A man who operated pain clinics in Florida and Georgia has been charged in a pill mill scheme that reached all the way to Kentucky. According to our partners at the Herald Leader, a federal grand jury charged that Joel Shumrak passed more than 1 million pills and Xanax in Clay County from 2008 up to this year. Shumrak and another doctor were part of a conspiracy that involved people from Kentucky going to clinics in Florida and Georgia to get their prescriptions without undergoing examinations.
A crime alert in Laurel County this morning that we're tracking. The police say there that burglars broke into 5 homes while the victims were at work. The Laurel County Sheriff's Office says each burglary happened Wednesday along Highway 552 in Lilly. In each case, investigators say the burglars pried open doors and stole electronics, guns, jewelry, and money. And they say the burglars also went through medicine cabinets.
We'd like to put out to the public, if you were traveling through that area yesterday and saw anything unusual, an unusual vehicle, an unusual activity around a residence, to please call us and let us know.
At this point, investigators say they do not have much to go on as far as tracking down those responsible.
Laurel County Sheriff's deputies arrested 3 people they say were found with several different kinds of drugs. They arrested 34-year-old Shannon Saylor, 55-year-old Lyndon McWhorter, and 35-year-old Misty Nance. Police say they found Saylor with meth, while McWhorter was found with prescription drugs and a handgun. He's a convicted felon. Nance was found with both meth and marijuana. All are lodged at the Laurel County Detention Center.
Time this morning is 5:35 on WKYT. A former Lexington firefighter indicted on charges stemming from a crash into a Lexington bar has new charges this morning. According to our partners at the Herald Leader, Jared McCargo's new charges include 2 fourth-degree assault, criminal mischief, and lack of insurance charges. Police say McCargo crashed into the Beer Trap Bar in Lexington back in September, injuring 3 people. One of those people, National Guardsman Noel Espino, is still recovering in the hospital.
A Central Kentucky jailer who lost Tuesday's election has filed a lawsuit to try and disqualify his opponent. Lincoln County jailer David Gooch says Rob Wilson should be disqualified because of one of the signatures on his filing paperwork. In an affidavit, Gooch says the signature is from a state employee and is not allowed to participate in political campaigns. Gooch lost to Wilson by only 726 votes. The motion will be heard November 24th in the county's circuit court.
A Northern Kentucky sheriff's deputy has been cleared of any wrongdoing in connection to a deadly shooting. The Boone County grand jury will not indict Boone County Deputy Tyler Brockman. In April, Brockman said he was checking out reports of a field party when he tried to stop 19-year-old Samantha Ramsey. He said Ramsey hit him with her car, throwing him onto the hood. As she tried to drive off, Brockman said he shot into the windshield, claiming he feared for his life. Ramsey was injured and later died.
The 6th Circuit Court of Appeals upheld same-sex marriage bans in Kentucky and 3 other states. In recent months, many courts around the country have ruled in favor of same-sex marriage. It appears more likely now that the U.S. Supreme Court will take up the issue. Spokespeople for both sides say they're ready for the country's high court to settle the question once and for all.
We've taken a stand like a stone wall, and hopefully that will ultimately triumph in Washington before the Supreme Court.
The trend is going in our direction. People are going to be able to get married. Same-sex couples are going to be able to get married in Kentucky. So it's just a matter of time.
In a statement last night, Kentucky Governor Steve Beshear said Kentucky needs clarity and certainty on the issue of same-sex marriage. He urged the Supreme Court to take up the case on appeal.
A man convicted of trying to extort money from the University of Louisville's Athletic Association has been sentenced. 36-year-old Thomas Ray of Jackson, Mississippi, will spend 2 years in prison. Ray was convicted back in August. Prosecutors say Ray used an alias and sent an email last year to employees at the university. That email allegedly threatened to harm the reputation of the Athletics Association. He demanded $3.5 million.
Prosecutors in New Zealand have now dropped a murder-for-hire charge against AC/DC drummer Phil Rudd. They say the evidence against Rudd was not sufficient, so they dropped the charge. Tuesday, prosecutors accused Rudd of trying to arrange 2 murders. He is still charged with threatening to kill and drug possession.
A famous zookeeper is making a visit to central Kentucky today. Famed critter wrangler Jack Hanna will be making an appearance in Richmond. That will be at 1:30 this afternoon at the Model Laboratory School at Eastern Kentucky University. He'll be speaking to all of the model students there, and also a performance tonight at the EKU Center for the Arts.
You normally see them reporting the latest news, weather, and sports, but last night a team from WKYT showed off their basketball skills at Rupp Arena. It was all part of the Hoops for Hope benefit for the Hope Center. Jennifer Palumbo, Micah Harris, Lee K. Howard, and Sean Moody all helped to raise money for a good cause.
We sleep over 800 every night in all of our facilities and in all of our programs, so we need the funds to help the addicted and the mentally ill and those who are homeless to rebuild their lives, and that's what this money is going for.
Great cause there. 40 teams from around the Bluegrass showed off their skills at the benefit.
That looked
Hey,
pretty
there you
good.
go.
All right. Micah was right on it there. All right, just in time for the holiday season, the Fayette Mall is opening up a brand new wing.
It includes a dozen new stores and will open later this morning. WKYT's Whitney Wetzel is live from the Fayette Mall with a look at what's going on today. Good morning, Whitney.
Good morning, everyone. These new stores and restaurants are located in the middle wing of the mall, which is where Sears used to be. The opening of about 20 new businesses caps off a year-long construction project and brings many new stores to Lexington. H&M, Janie and Jack, and Altered State are just a few of the clothing stores. Swarovski, Clark's, and Oakley are also new to the mall. Now, there are some stores and restaurants that won't open until early next year, but the majority will open later today. Mall officials say parking has been added, and Lextran has also added a stop in the front parking lot near the Cheesecake Factory, which opened in late October. So there is something new for just about everyone here at Fayette Mall. All of these new stores are set to open at 10 o'clock this morning. Live in Lexington, Whitney Wetzel, WKYT.